sure to check out Ageless Geeks for your figures and collectibles. So what is going on, my fellow collectors? How is everybody doing today? Daredevil19 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Avengers Endgame Captain America. So let's get into it right away and take a quick look at the box. So we do get a newer designed box for the SH Figuarts Avengers Endgame line. So we do get the window right there in the front of the box, and on the window in blue does say SH Figuarts. On the bottom we do get the Avengers A symbol, says Captain America, Marvel Avengers Endgame, Tamashii Nations, and Bandai. And then here's the bottom of the box. We do get a miniature image of the Captain America figure. Then we do get the blah 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 stuff nobody cares about. Then here's the top of the box, and then the one side there. And on the other side, we do get the Tamashii Nations quality sticker on the bottom. And then the back here, we do get a few cool poses you can get the figure into, along with some of the accessories. But anyway, that is the packaging. Let's get this figure over to take a closer look at Captain America, the leader of the Avengers. Sorry, Iron Man. Alrighty, to get a closer detailed look, and Tamashii Nations did a very nice job with the detail for this cap. I would have definitely loved it if they added like a subtle wash in the blue. I think that would have gave this figure such a nice touch. And you have to be careful with the articulation. As you can see, the lower torso right there did rub up on the crotch piece on the inside, and it rubbed off some of the paint, so be careful when you articulate this figure. Now the face sculpts look to be the exact same as the Civil War cap, which aren't the best, they're not the worst, but definitely could be a little bit better. The eyes, very clean paintwork on them, both looking in the same direction. The chin strap looks pretty cool, nice tiny sculpt and paint detail on that. Same with the helmet or his mask there. The A looks great. It is sculpted on there. You see the wings on the side and everything, and I like that grayish type color. Or is it brown? It's hard to tell. I think it's brown actually. Added on with the navy blue on the helmet. I think that looks pretty cool. And you can see a little bit of his hair on the lower neck along with some of the helmet as well, which is pretty cool looking. Now for the torso here, we do get his harness, which has some nice sculpt and paintwork on it, and I do like the scales that they added on the armor. I think that looks really cool. The star looks great. The red and white pieces look pretty good. Just be careful of the paint rubbing off when you articulate the figure, but the paint is really clean for the most part throughout the figure. They just missed a little bit of white paint over there, and there's no really sloppy paintwork on it. Then the harness on the back looks pretty good. There is a piece that you peg into there when you don't have the shield pegged on there. I just don't have it on right now. And you can see a few sculpted wrinkles around the torso on the suit, which looks pretty cool too. And then the arms, we get more of the scale pieces on like the armor on the shoulder, along with the Avengers A on both sides. And we get some subtle sculpted wrinkles throughout it, some sculpted lines and everything. Elbow joints look really nice. Forearm looks pretty good too. You get a little bit of sculpted wrinkles around the wrist, and then we do get his belt with a bunch of pouches on it, and it turned out real nice. Like I said, a black wash really does go a long way on a figure. You know what I mean? It's just the color of the plastic, the brown there, and it's just really bland, you know. And then the legs here, I believe most this figure shares a lot design-wise or the mechanic-wise of the Infinity War cap, and that figure really wasn't their best Captain America figure, so not really the best design for cap. But the pants here, we do get sculpted wrinkles around the crotch area, around the thighs there. We get the pockets, the cargo pants pockets on the side. You can see the red line as well, and more sculpted lines all throughout it. Knee joints look great. And then the lower legs, I like the way the pants look tucked into the boot right there, how they're kind of like bunched up a little bit. I think that looks pretty dope. And then the boots here, for some reason my right boot is more glossy than the left one. I have no idea what the hell is up with that. I literally just noticed that. And the boots are just very bland looking, man. That's what happens when you don't add like shading or a wash. It's just so plain. It's just the color of the plastic, and that's it. You know, I mean, we have buckles and straps all over it, sculpted wrinkles. They don't really add extra paintwork on their figures, and it's just so damn irritating to me. The boots look pretty good, and I love these sculpted treads on the bottom. Those look sick, but overall, Tamashii Nations did do a nice job with this Captain America. Not too happy with how bland it looks, but that's what they do a lot with their figures. They don't really add like shading or a wash on them, and you just have to be careful of some paint rub, as I do have it on my lower torso. But anyway, let's continue on. Moving on to the accessories, we get a decent amount of stuff included with this Endgame cap, and it's pretty much the same accessories we got with the Civil War cap. So what we do get two interchangeable heads. And starting on the left, we do get the basic stern face, which is the face that does come on the figure out of the packaging, and then the other alternate face is another basic stern looking face, but he's looking off to the right. So they do continue just giving us the same facial expressions, just having the eyes looking in a different direction instead of looking straight ahead. But the sculpt and paint turned out really nice on both face sculpts. The likeness of Chris Evans definitely isn't perfect. I mean, it doesn't look like him too much. I feel like they needed to add more paint detail or something, because I feel like the sculpt is there. It's just they need to add more paintwork to it to bring out the likeness more of Chris Evans. But it's very easy to swap the heads. I will show you how to do that right now quickly, but there is an annoying issue with swapping the heads. So swapping the heads for Cap is really simple. There's just one annoying issue. I don't know if it's going to happen right now or not, but once you pull up on the head to pop it off, most of the time the joint is going to pop off with the damn head. It's supposed to stay in the lower neck because there isn't another joint on the other head. So if you can't get it out, every time I tried swapping it when I was taking pictures, it kept coming off with it. So you might need to get some needle nose pliers, wrap tissue around the joint and pull it out, because sometimes it won't come out with the damn head. But the way you swap them is easy. If the joint stays in there, you just pull up on the head to get it off, and then just take the new head to pop it on, and then there you go. As simple as that. So that to me is probably the most, well, one of the most annoying things about the figure. So we do get the two interchangeable head sculpts, and then we also get his dope shield, and then we do get a bunch of different interchangeable strap pieces, just like with the Civil War cap. So the shield, I think, turned out beautiful. Very clean paintwork all throughout it, and I love the silver and red paint that they chose for it. And then there's the inside with some sculpt work, and then they have these straps sculpted and painted on there and everything. You can see like the stitching sculpted, which looks pretty cool, and I like the silver that they chose as well. And we do have a bunch of peg holes because of course all these straps do swap out to do certain things with Cap with his shield. So we do get that, and then we do get two of the regular straps for when he's not using the shield there. You can see the buckle sculpted and painted on there and everything, and the pegs of course, so we do get those. And then we do get this one, which wraps around his arm. We do get some nice sculpt and paint on it, as you can see there. And then we do get this one, so you can holster the shield on his back. This pegs into the back of Captain America, and then these peg into the shield. And then finally we get the strap with some clear plastic on it, so it looks like he is throwing his shield. And I'll show you how to use all these right now. So for all the different options with the shield here, we just have the regular straps where he's not doing anything, and these two peg holes on the bottom are closer to each other while these are wider. So you take the wider ones and peg that one in there like that, and then you have a set, whoops, and then you have a strap, a set, and then you have a strap for the bottom part as well. So that is one option there. Another option is when he's throwing the shield. So you need God damn it! So you need the shield throwing hand, and all you do is just line up the peg with the peg hole on this, just peg that in, and you would leave one of the regular straps that I just showed you before on the one side, and this one is for the wider pegs here. So what you would do is slide his fingers, not his thumb, over the top of the shield. Whoops, actually it's the more narrow peg holes, actually. That's for that one, but that's how you do like the shield throwing, or about to throw the shield accessories right there for Cap and his shield. And then the other one here is for when you have Cap actually gripping his shield. Maybe I should have waited to put that hand on. So you take the strap that goes around his arm. You technically don't need to use this because the handle hand here is strong enough to hold the shield up on its own. So the arm strap goes into the more narrow pegs, and then the handle goes into the wider set of pegs. So you just peg that in, and then there you go. You have Cap with his shield ready for battle. And then the last one, which is probably my favorite option, I'm just going to leave that stuff on there. You take this piece here, and this goes, what, in the more narrow pegs? Yes, it does. And then you could take this strap here, peg that in like so, and then on his back he's going to have a tiny little peg in there, so there's not just a random hole on his back. You have to get that out. What I do is I use a small screwdriver to unpeg it, because if you can't get your fingernails under there, you're not going to be able to get it out. But you can have Cap holster his shield. All you do is just peg that in, and then there you go. That looks freaking dope once you have Cap holstering his shield, and that's how I'll probably have my Captain America displayed. So we do get all the different handle accessories for his shield. And then we finally get 8 alternate hands. And starting on the top right here, we do get a pair of fists, of course, which do come on the figure out of the packaging. Then we do get a pair of open resting type hands. And these 2 pairs of hands are the hands you don't really use with the shield. Then on the bottom here, we do get a pair of shield throwing hands with the pegs on the palms there. And then we do get a pair of shield gripping hands where he's gripping onto the strap. And yes, they are molded together, as you can see right there, and all the hands are very simple to swap out, and we do get some very nice sculpt and paint detail throughout all 8 hands. But anyway, that is all the accessories included with Captain America. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the reviews, shall we? Now for the height of Steve Rogers, to the very top of his head, it looks like he's just shy of 6 inches and 1/4 of an inch tall. And then here he is compared to the ESH Figuarts Infinity War Thor, the Mark 7 Iron Man, and his buddies, the Infinity War Bucky and the Infinity War Falcon. And then here he is compared to the ESH Figuarts Endgame Armored Thanos, the Infinity War Black Panther, the Homecoming Spider-Man, and the Infinity War Hulk. And then here he is compared to the Storm Collectibles Smoke, the SH Figuarts Sage Mode Naruto, the Mifex Justice League Batman, and the Figma Black Swordsman Guts. And then here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Awakened Warrior Super Saiyan Goku, and the Mizco 112 Deadpool. Anyway, there's some quick comparisons. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review. So now for the articulation, and as I mentioned before, a lot of this figure shares the same mechanics or how it was put together, like the Infinity War cap, and that cap really did not have the best articulation. So this one here, we do have 2 joints at the neck. The upper neck joint is on a barbell type joint. You can get Cap to look up about that much with that joint. Looks down a tiny bit there. You do get very nice pivot, as you can see, and I do prefer the barbell joints over the ball hinge when it comes to the SH Figuarts figures. Then we do get the swivel there. The lower neck here goes forward and back a decent amount. So with both joints, he can look down a little bit better, and both joints looks up just a tiny bit more. You do get a little bit of pivot at the lower neck, a very slight pivot, and then it does swivel as well. So okay movement at both the neck joints. Then we do get a point of articulation at the torso under the chest here, and Cap can not really crunch too far forward with that joint. Does go back a lot, but then you do see a gap, so you might want to hide that. And then we do get alright pivot there, not the best, and then it does swivel as well. That joint is very tight, as you can hear. The waist here has much better forward and back movement, as you can see, and I think that was from me articulating the figure. The upper torso probably rubbed on it and took the paint off just like that. So be careful when you articulate the torso with this figure. With both joints moving forward, crunches forward that much, and both joints going back. He goes back a lot with both joints there. And then you do get better pivot, it seems like, at the waist, and then slight swivel because of the way the waist is sculpted there. Now for the arms here, we have the same design as the Infinity War cap, but you do get a nice circular motion out of the shoulders, and then we do have a butterfly joint that works alright. Not the best though, but better than not having it. And then the arms do go out to the sides a little more than 90 degrees, so that's definitely good. They do go up and down. We do not have true bicep swivel. You will have to use it at the shoulder, or you can use it at the double jointed elbow. That does bend in all the way, and then it does swivel where the joint connects into the bicep. Doesn't really do it at all where it connects into the forearm, but at least it does it where it connects to the bicep. Then we do have the ball hinge on the wrist. It does swivel and hinges back and forth. And then the legs here, same ones, I believe, as the Infinity War cap. They do shift down, so you can get cap to kick forward about 90 degrees. You can get it out more, but it starts moving outward, as you can see there. Goes to the back just a tiny bit. Let's see if he can Jean-Claude Van Damme it, and I don't think he can, or I could be wrong. He almost can, actually, so nice outward leg movement there. Then we do get the hip swivel. We do have double jointed knees that do bend back pretty much all the way. Then for the ankles here, these ankle joints are not good at all. They're the same ones as Infinity War cap. They swivel, hinge up a tiny bit, really do not hinge down at all, and then the pivot is just horrible on this figure. My God, it really does not pivot at all. Come on, Tamashii Nations, what the hell is that, man? Really bad ankle movement with this cap, and then we do get a nice toe hinge. So overall, definitely not impressed with the articulation. As I mentioned a few times already, it's pretty much the same exact articulation as the Infinity War cap, and that articulation was not good at all. But you'll be able to get this cap in some okay Captain America-like poses, and I'm about to show you some of them right about now. But anyway, that is my review of the SH Figuarts Avengers Endgame Captain America. I hope you enjoyed it. If I had to rate this figure between a 1 through 10, I'd have to give it a 7.5. If you would like to know the price and where to buy this figure, I did get mine from Agelessgeeks, so you can head over to their website, agelessgeeks.com. If you can't find it on there, I do highly recommend going through their Instagram or their Facebook page. I will put more information in the description below. And if you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell. And if you liked it, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, oh well, I guess you didn't like it. But thanks for watching. I will see you later. Says Captain America, almost said Captain Marvel, because it says Marvel right there and Captain America. On the bottom we do get the Avengers A, says Captain America, of the Captain America figure, and we do get the warning, or that doesn't, that's not the warning, it's just the bloody blah stuff, god darn it. And then here is the bottom of the box. We do get a miniature image of the Captain America figure. Did I say miniature image? I did, didn't I? There's going to be a lot of outtakes for this review. So now for the articulation and the SH Figuarts Endgame Thanos, the Infinity War. Then we do get a pair of regular open hands, and these are the... It won't stay in the lower neck, which is what it... Look, now the whole thing pops right off and it falls off. You goddamn neck joint.